This movie is about a boy with mysterious visions. He teams up with the last gunslinger to battle a dark sorcerer, who wants to destroy the dark tower that holds the parallel dimensions together. The story opens high in the mountains, in a place so remote that few could ever reach it. Below, a cluster of children play, laughing and unaware. They do not notice the men watching them. Men with grotesque scars around their necks and ears. Men whose faces look like stretched, peeled skin. Their heads move in jerky, unnatural ways, as if they are puppets wearing someone else's flesh. A siren suddenly screams. The children are hurried away and led into a hidden facility. They think they are being taken to safety, but instead they are strapped into chairs. A strange machine is fixed to their temples. Through the tubes and wires, something like light, their life energy, their very essence, is drawn out of them. In the dim light, every worker in the building is revealed to be wearing fake skin. Beneath, they are something else entirely. Silent servants of a single will, a man known only as the Man in Black. The stolen energy is focused into a brilliant beam and fired across dimensions at a distant dark tower that looms in another world. The tower shudders, a piece of it cracks. That blow ripples outward. At the exact same moment, an earthquake racks our Earth. We cut to a boy named Jake Chambers. He wakes up suddenly from a terrible nightmare, sweating, heart pounding. These visions have haunted him for as long as he can remember. In his dreams, he sees everything in startling detail. The children, the mountain facility, the men with peeling skin, the black beam striking a spire taller than any building. He draws what he sees, sketching page after page until his hands are covered in graphite. Jake's mother knows he has problems, or she thinks she knows. No one takes Jake's drawings seriously. They tell him he's imagining things. They take him to a psychiatrist, who hears Jake's wild story and dismisses it as a sleep disorder. The doctor suggests more rest, maybe medication. Jake tries to explain, but the world treats him like a troubled kid with an overactive imagination. One day, as Jake is walking home, he notices a strange man on the sidewalk. Jake realizes that the man is wearing human skin, just like the creatures from his dreams. Jake freezes in shock. At that moment, a beggar steps up to him and whispers a warning. Be careful. They're searching for children like you. They want the power of strong minds. The words sink into Jake's chest like ice. In that instant, he understands the terrifying truth. He is being hunted. That night, the dream continues. He sees a magician-like figure who moves like a whisper. The Man in Black. In the dream, the Man in Black walks into a strange, magical forest and finds an old man sitting with his son. The old man sees the figure and raises a gun, but the magician's power is cruel and immediate. He kills the old man without touching him. The son, furious, fires back, but the Man in Black simply raises his hand and catches the bullet. Nothing seems to harm him. Jake's dream shifts again and shows him a very old, crumbling building, a place that leaves him with a feeling like an open wound. He wakes and draws that building too, then searches online for any hint of where it might be. He posts his sketch on the internet, a desperate call for anyone to tell him if they recognize the place. The next day, a man and a woman show up at Jake's house, claiming they're from a psychiatric clinic. But Jake knows better the moment he looks at them. These are the same figures from his dreams. They've come for him. His mother insists they're doctors and urges him to cooperate. But Jake can see the truth in their faces. These aren't helpers. They're the monsters from his nightmares wearing human skin, and they've come to drag him away. Panic rises in him as his mother tries to calm him. Then, suddenly, his laptop buzzes with a new email. It's from a girl who saw the picture he posted online. She tells him the building in his sketch is real. It's in Brooklyn, not far from where he lives. That small thread of hope is all he needs. Jake makes a desperate move, slipping away from the men and fleeing his home. He sprints through the streets until he finds the address. And there it is. The old, crumbling house from his dream, standing like a shadow of the past, forgotten and rotting in the middle of the city. Jake forces his way inside. The house is silent, dust filling the air with every step. In one of the rooms, he finds something strange. A worn, ancient device sitting at the center like an altar. His vision floods back. He knows what to do. Trembling, he places his hands on the machine and it roars to life. Energy crackles and spins, ripping a swirling portal open in front of him. The house groans under the strain, walls buckling, floorboards collapsing. Debris rains down and Jake barely manages to fight free. With no other choice, he leaps through the glowing light. On the other side, he crashes into a vast desert under a punishing sun. The landscape stretches endlessly, nothing but stone and sand. Hours pass as he stumbles forward, thirsty, exhausted, clinging to hope. When he finally spots a water bottle, he lifts it with shaking hands, only to find it dry and crumbling as if it has lain in the dirt for centuries. Then he feels it. The press of cold steel against the back of his head. The man holding the gun is Roland 𝗟𝗂𝗍, the last gunslinger. His weathered face is hard and cautious. His voice sharp as he demands to know who Jake is. Jake stammers out his story, saying he has seen Roland in his dreams, that he came through a portal from another world. Roland doesn't believe a word of it. He keeps his gun steady, suspicion in his eyes, until Jake pulls out his sketchbook. Page after page reveals detailed drawings of Roland himself, of the man in black, of the dark tower rising over a broken world. The proof silences Roland's doubt. This boy is connected to all of it. Far away, the man in black senses what has happened. He knows Jake has crossed into this world, and if Jake has the power Roland suspects, he will stop at nothing to find him. As they travel together across the wasteland, Roland finally explains the truth. There is not one world, but many, stacked like layers on top of each other. Every world has its own laws, its own kind of magic, and at the very center of them all stands the Dark Tower. The tower is the anchor, the shield that keeps everything in balance and holds back the chaos pressing against reality. If it falls, all worlds fall with it. The man in black wants exactly that. He and his creatures dream of tearing the tower down and letting the darkness pour through. But to strike something so strong, they need a weapon of pure power. They discovered that the psychic energy of innocent children is the most potent force in existence. That's why they are stealing children across worlds, turning their minds into fuel, building a weapon capable of destroying the Dark Tower itself. And now, Jake's extraordinary gift may make him their most valuable target of all. As night falls, Roland and Jake take shelter in a fog-drenched forest where the air feels heavy, and every shadow seems alive. The silence is broken when Jake suddenly hears a voice, his father's voice, calling out softly through the mist. Confused and desperate for the comfort of someone he lost long ago, Jake wanders away from Roland, following the sound. He sees his father's familiar figure ahead, hand outstretched, beckoning him closer. But as Jake steps forward, the illusion unravels. The warm image twists into something grotesque, a snake-like monster with glistening fangs. It's a 𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗲, one of the man in black's servants, using psychic tricks to lure Jake to his death. Just as the creature lunges, Roland storms in, guns blazing. His bullets cut through the fog, and the 𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗲 collapses, dead at Jake's feet. At that same moment back on Earth, the man in black himself arrives at Jake's home. To Jake's mother and stepfather, he appears as a charming, ordinary man. But behind his smile lurks cruelty. He begins probing their minds, ripping through their memories with terrifying ease. He learns Jake's true father died years ago, and that his mother remarried. With a single flick of his hand, he kills Jake's stepfather, ending his life right in front of her. Then he shifts his focus to Jake's mother, diving deep into her memories. Every secret Jake ever shared, every vision he described is stripped away from her mind. Once he has all the knowledge he needs, about Jake's powers, about his drawings, about his connection to other worlds, the man in black, without hesitation, murders her too. In the span of minutes, Jake is left without a family. Meanwhile, far away in the wasteland, Roland and Jake reach a small, struggling village. They are searching for someone who can guide them, a seer with a rare ability. They find a young girl with this gift. She explains she can look at any image and instantly know where it exists in the world. Roland shows her one of Jake's drawings, the man in black standing before a jagged mountain range. She studies it and reveals that the place lies far, nearly 6 months away by foot. But she also gives them hope. The man in black has created hidden portals scattered across this world, shortcuts that allow him to travel vast distances in moments. When the girl looks at Jake, her eyes widen. She senses the depth of his gift. She calls it the Shine, a rare ability that allows him to project his visions into the minds of others, even communicate through thought. Jake realizes that the strange power that has haunted him is far more extraordinary than he ever knew. But their conversation doesn't remain hidden for long. The man in black senses their movements, and his rage is immediate. He sends his monstrous followers, the 𝗟𝗏𝗍𝗲, to descend on the village. Gunfire erupts as huts burn, smoke choking the sky. Villagers scream as the creatures tear through their homes. Amid the chaos, Roland and Jake fight with everything they have, bullets flying, fire crackling around them. In the last desperate moment, they find one of the portals the seer described and hurl themselves through it. They emerge back on Earth, in the heart of New York City. But Roland is badly injured from the fight. His body, battered and bleeding, cannot withstand much more. Jake rushes him to a hospital, begging the doctors to save his strange gun-wielding companion. While Roland is being treated, the man in black arrives in the ruins of the village they fled. He finds the young seer, still alive, and mercilessly rips the truth from her mind. Now he knows exactly where Roland and Jake have gone, and that they are vulnerable. On Earth, Jake realizes their journey must end where it all began. At the house in Brooklyn, the one with the portal from his visions. But before facing what lies ahead, he insists on going home one last time. He needs to see his mother, to make sure she is safe. Roland hesitates but agrees, knowing the boy's heart is already heavy. When Jake reaches his house, the sight freezes him. His stepfather's body lies lifeless on the floor, and his mother was burned to ashes. Jake's chest tightens, and grief crashes over him like a wave. He blames himself, feels the weight of guilt pressing down. Roland places a hand on his shoulder. His voice is steady, almost harsh, but it's the truth Jake needs to hear. What's done cannot be undone. The only way forward now is to stop the man in black before more lives are lost. To prepare for the coming fight, Roland heads into a gun store to replenish his ammunition. But as he steps inside, the air shifts, and there he is. The man in black, standing calmly, waiting. Roland wastes no time. His guns are up, firing with deadly precision, but the sorcerer simply raises a hand, and every bullet drops harmlessly. Roland doesn't hesitate. He uses the chaos to spark a distraction and slips through a side exit. Only it's not an exit at all. As soon as Roland steps through, he realizes the truth. The door was a portal. Instead of the New York alley, he finds himself stranded in a barren alien world, far away from Jake. Left alone, Jake stumbles into the street, disoriented, his mind clouded by everything he has lost. Before he can recover, a van screeches to a stop beside him. The 𝗂𝗃 pour out, their human disguises flickering, and they grab him. Jake struggles, but he's dragged into the van and taken away. He awakens inside the mountain facility from his first visions, the place where children are strapped to machines, their life energy siphoned to fuel beams of destruction aimed at the Dark Tower. The chamber hums with dreadful energy. Jake is forced into the central device, the largest one, built for a power unlike any other. The man in black is there, watching with cold amusement. He tells Jake that his shine is the purest psychic force he has ever seen, strong enough to topple the tower once and for all. With Jake strapped in, he activates the machine, but Jake is no longer powerless. He has learned to fight with his mind. As the machine tries to rip his energy away, Jake builds a wall inside himself, resisting the pull. The man in black snarls, frustrated at the boy's strength. Jake gathers all his will, focusing his gift not on defense, but on sending out a cry for help. He projects his thoughts across dimensions, reaching for the one person who can save him. Roland. In his mind, he shows Roland the portal, the exact location, and the code to activate it. Roland, stranded in the other world, receives the vision as clear as if Jake were standing beside him. He finds the portal, carves the code into the panel, and with a flash of light steps through. He emerges right inside the mountain stronghold, guns already in his hands, facing the man in black. Roland fires instantly, bullets tearing through the air. But once again, the man in black's magic halts them mid-flight, hanging them like beads of steel in the air. Roland dives for cover, moving through the shadows, thinking like a hunter. He shoots at the ceiling, sending a storm of glass shards raining down. But the sorcerer halts every fragment in midair with a flick of his hand, then twists them back. One shard slices across Roland's hand, and one of his revolvers clatters to the ground. Roland is wounded and bleeding, his hands mangled from the fight. He knows now that he cannot defeat the man in black by facing him head-on. The sorcerer's magic is too strong, his power too absolute. If Roland is to win, it must be through cunning and timing. He slips into the shadows, hiding behind stacked crates, waiting for the perfect opening. When the man in black turns his attention back to Jake, Roland leans out and fires. The bullets slam into a metal fixture, sending it clattering to the ground. Furious, the man in black flicks his hand, and Roland's own bullets whip back toward him like shards of lightning. They tear into Roland's other hand, leaving both of his gunslinger hands bloodied and crippled. Weak and unarmed, Roland is forced to his knees. Meanwhile, Jake remains strapped into the machine, but still he fights, his will unbroken. The man in black grins, sensing his victory, and steps forward to end him once and for all. He lies unconscious on the cold floor, broken and defenseless. At that moment, Jake gathers the last of his strength. With sheer determination, he sends a telepathic message across the void to Roland. You have to fight until your last breath. Don't give up. The words echo in Roland's mind, sparking something deep inside him. His body shudders, his eyes snap open, and he forces himself upright. But this time, Roland doesn't aim directly at the man in black. He steadies his wounded hand and fires 2 shots, one at a metal beam, the other aimed at the sorcerer. The first bullet ricochets, colliding with the second in midair, and together they curve with deadly precision. Before the man in black can react, the shot slams straight into his chest. The man in black staggers, stunned, his magic faltering. His concentration breaks. Seizing the moment, Roland charges forward, using his weight to drive the sorcerer backward. The sorcerer gone, Roland frees Jake with a bullet. The machine sparks violently, and the gunslinger destroys the entire facility as it begins to collapse. Together they unstrap the children imprisoned in the chamber. Dust and fire swallow the building behind them, but they escape into the open air, alive and free. The Dark Tower, spared from destruction, still rises unbroken against the sky, its strength holding back the darkness that claws at the edges of every world. In the aftermath, Roland turns to Jake. The boy has lost everything on Earth, his mother, his stepfather, his home. But Roland offers him something else, a place by his side, a new family, a path forward. He asks Jake to come with him, to walk the way of the gunslinger. Jake agrees without hesitation. Side by side, the gunslinger and his new apprentice step through a portal into an unknown journey together. And so ends the movie, The Dark Tower. On IMDb, this movie was rated by 153,000 people and has an average rating of 5.6. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos like this.